Being smart is supposed to be a superpower, right? But what if sometimes it feels like the exact opposite? Today we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden struggles of a highly intelligent mind, the challenges that most people never ever see. So, picture this. You're at a party, you've got a drink in your hand, and you are trapped in a conversation about, I don't know, the weather or the traffic. Everyone else seems totally into it, but inside, you're screaming. That feeling, right there, that disconnect is where our story begins. So what is that? Why does a simple, totally harmless conversation feel so draining, so pointless? Well, this question is the key that unlocks what it's like to have a mind that's just wired a little bit differently. See, it all starts with what we're going to call the internal engine. This is a mind that is always on. It's constantly analyzing, constantly digging for something deeper. And this nonstop engine, it's the source of incredible strengths, but also some pretty surprising struggles. Okay, so let's go back to that party. To everyone else, you might look rude, or maybe antisocial, or you just seem totally zoned out. But the reality is, your brain is literally starving. It craves puzzles, it craves big ideas, it craves a good debate. Anything with some real substance. So shallow chatter about the weekend plans, it's like junk food for a mind that is desperate for a 5-course meal. And there's actually a term for this. It's called a high need for cognition. And it's not just a preference, it's a genuine hunger for deep, effortful thinking. So when that need isn't being met, your mind doesn't just get bored, it actively pushes away the shallow stuff and goes looking for something it can actually chew on. And that same internal engine, it turns the simplest choices into these massive, complex problems. So to your friends, you look indecisive about which movie to watch. But inside your head, there's a full-blown analysis going on. You're weighing the director's filmography, the critical reviews, the runtime, the mood you're in, all to find the perfect choice. And this leads straight to something called analysis paralysis. Your brain just refuses to settle for good enough, so it gets stuck in this endless marathon of possibilities, turning what should be a 2-minute decision into an hour-long ordeal. It's not that you can't decide, it's that you feel this overwhelming need to decide perfectly. And then, of course, there's the mind wandering. To an outsider, it looks like you're just spacing out, but for you, it feels like falling into a black hole of pure thought. One second you're looking at a tree, and the next you've mentally re-engineered urban park design. It's just what happens when you have a mind that absolutely refuses to stand still. Now, this powerful internal engine doesn't just change how you think on the inside, it totally shapes how you communicate on the outside. And that brings us to our next big challenge, cracking the communication code. You know how some people talk like they're just throwing words out there to see what sticks? Well, you treat every sentence like a strategic move in a chess game. In your head, there's this little quality control factory running 24/7, testing every single word for accuracy before it's allowed to leave. To the outside world, this can look like you're hesitating, but really it's just a deep respect for getting it right. There's a name for this too, linguistic precision. It's this drive to use words as exact, surgical tools, not just disposable background noise. The only problem? While you're carefully crafting that perfect, precise sentence, the conversation has already moved 3 topics ahead without you. Then you have the complete opposite problem. Someone asks you a simple question and you give them a full-blown TED Talk in response. Your brain just refuses to give a simple, surface-level answer when it knows all the fascinating layers underneath. To you, you're being thorough. To them, their eyes are glazing over from total information overload. This is a classic cognitive bias called the curse of knowledge. It's when you know so much about something that you literally can't remember what it was like not to know it. So what feels like essential context to you just sounds like a confusing mess to someone else. So as you can imagine, all of this eventually spills over into your social life. When your internal engine and your communication style are just different, navigating social situations can feel like you're trying to run new software on a really old, incompatible operating system. It's not that you don't know the social rules. It's that your brain is just too busy. It's analyzing subtext, it's making weird connections, it's juggling a dozen different thoughts at once, and it can't keep up with the simple script of a normal conversation. It's like everyone else got a copy of the script, and you're over in the corner trying to improvise a whole new play. Now, this all might make it sound like the goal is to just be alone all the time, but it's really not that simple. It has less to do with avoiding people and everything to do with how you connect with them. Highly intelligent people tend to have a really strong friendship filter. You crave depth. Those shallow, surface-level connections feel like empty calories. They leave you feeling even more lonely than if you were actually by yourself. So you're not antisocial, you're just fiercely protective of your energy, saving it for the few connections that truly matter. So when you turn down that party invitation or you just kind of disappear for a weekend, it's not you rejecting them. It's you recharging yourself. For a mind that is always running at full speed, solitude isn't avoidance, it's essential maintenance. And that brings us to the last, and maybe the biggest, struggle of all: the constant, crushing weight of your own potential. This right here is the great paradox of having such a powerful mind. On the outside, people see someone who is driven, ambitious, maybe even unstoppable. But on the inside, it feels like you're running a race that has no finish line. Every time you succeed at something, it doesn't bring relief. Nope, it just resets the clock and raises the bar even higher for next time. The pressure isn't just to succeed, it's to not waste the potential you know you have. And that same sharp mind that solves complex problems? It becomes your own worst critic. People call you a perfectionist, but for you just see the flaws. Your brain is so good at spotting tiny details and inconsistencies that you can't help but turn that powerful lens inward, cataloging every single mistake. And it all comes together in this one final struggle. It's incredibly hard to just exist in the present moment. Your mind is always either time traveling to the past to analyze what went wrong or rocketing into the future to plan for every possibility. And while you're so busy living in what was and what will be, the right now just slips right through your fingers. So, after all this, what are we supposed to think? Is being highly intelligent a gift? Is it a curse? Maybe it's neither. Maybe it's just a different operating system, one that comes with its own incredible features, its own unique bugs, and its own special way of processing the world.